we have to be willing to admit to ourselves when there's something we don't, in fact, directly see and understand yet, and where we're still filling in the blanks with an interpretation, or with a judgment, or with a belief, or with an opinion, or with an assumption. The more we define ourselves according to these fillers, these beliefs and ideas and interpretations, and we make our sense of security and stability and the world making sense dependent on these fillers, these beliefs and interpretations, the more we set ourselves up to feel defensive when someone disagrees with us, to need to protect and defend our beliefs, which is really then has become our self-definition and the source of our sense of security and stability. We need to cultivate self-honesty. We need to have the courage to be honest with ourselves in a moment where we, in fact, don't understand something definitively. And a great way to learn to identify when we're in such a moment is if we are reacting to someone and going into this debate and argument mode, and we're feeling things, tension and combativeness, and this person is and I need to prove them wrong because they're wrong and they're being like that. All of that kind of shit is an indication that there's something that you're not yet really aware of and understanding clearly, directly. Because when we understand something, in fact, then there's no self-definition involved, and you're simply working with awareness of the, in fact, nature of a thing. There's no defensiveness involved. There's no reaction. There's no argumentativeness that rises up within self. You simply communicate, and either the person is willing to and able to hear you or not. And if they're not, then, you realize in that moment, okay, fine, I have to move on because there's nothing I can do. This person is in a location point within their beliefs where they're not going to hear me. Or maybe they do hear you. But they're not going to hear you if you're just throwing beliefs and judgments at them. It doesn't matter what side you're working. I'm not talking about any one side here. I'm just talking about the design of this behavior in general as it applies to any given issue or topic. The more we cultivate self-honesty and self-awareness and learn to admit to ourselves when we don't yet understand something, the more we open up for ourselves the opportunity to go and study more, research, consider, investigate. And there may be things where we, despite all of our efforts, realize there's just, I'm not yet seeing, there's something that eluding me. I have to accept that for the moment, I'm not yet seeing how this thing works. There may be points like that where you have to accept that you don't yet see and understand, and you have to you just have to let it go. You have to sort of accept that that's a thing that is going to be a work in progress of working towards understanding. And it might take much, much more time. And that's fine, because that's better than settling for creating a belief system and then a set of judgments and moralizations and self-definitions around that belief system. And I mean, that's just religious behavior. And we don't need more of that within humanity. What we do need is more awareness, self-honesty, understanding, consideration, patience, real practical reasoning, research, investigation. These are the things that we need. Communication, sharing perspectives, listening to each other, considering each other. We don't need more fighting and wars between self-definitions and belief systems. It doesn't matter if it's belief systems and self-definitions and fighting in the context of arguing about a social justice issue or about a religious issue or a political issue. It's all, the content doesn't matter. The underlying design and construct is the same. And the consequences of allowing ourselves to participate in that construct and design is the same. More friction, more conflict, more fighting. So, really, we need to work on, again, slowing down, take a breath, and really ask ourselves, do I really know as much about this as I believe I do or want to tell myself that I do? If I'm reacting to a person, if I'm feeling a need to break them down and judge them and make them feel bad, or if I feel a compulsion to argue and debate, how can that indicate awareness? It can't, because if I'm aware, then I'm stable. Again, and I can communicate practically and clearly and specifically. So that's like a flag point that I use for myself too. Is like, if I'm not able to communicate and share practically within stability and specificity, and I feel energies rising within me of defensiveness or needing to prove myself right or another wrong or to break someone down, or if I experience any kind of spite or resentment or anger or blame or victimization around the issue, problem. I need to stop and I need to look at myself and work on myself and my relationship to that issue and that topic.